Welcome, everyone. Before we start with this latest video, I wanted to kind of pop in here and let you guys know that we recorded this video a day before Sony reversed course on this latest development with no digital upgrade path for Horizon if you buy it on the PS4, unless you buy one of the very expensive versions. So Sony has reversed course and has basically let anybody who purchases the PS4 version of Horizon Forbidden West to get a free upgrade to PS5 if you purchased it for PS4 without having to pay any more. Jim Ryan did say this would be the last game that they would allow this to happen for. Everything else will have supposedly will have a $10 upgrade pass. So $60 if you buy the PS4 and then eventually get a PS5, you can do the $10 upgrade. So please watch and see our initial reaction to this and what we thought of Sony reversing course from originally saying that it would be no charge upgrade or a $10 upgrade path and then basically saying none. So we hope you guys tune in to check this out and let us know what your thoughts are. Like I said, this is pre-recorded. We recorded this one before we saw that Sony had reversed course. So enjoy. Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. So on tonight's episode, we're going to talk about Sony. Sony does it again. They're just like Britney Spears. They keep making the same mistakes over and over. We're going to talk about Sony's anti-consumer antics that they always do. So there was some recent news about Horizon Forbidden West. They came out and people were asking questions, and there's a FAQ on their FAQ on their PlayStation site for the game talking about how do I upgrade my PS4 version to PS5 version of the game? And the short of the answer is you can't unless you buy one of their special edition versions. So Sony is basically saying if you want to play it on PS4 or PS5, you must purchase the Digital Deluxe or the Collector's Edition or the Regalia Edition. So basically, you need to spend $80+ or more to be able to play it on both consoles. So you have to think ahead. Sony's getting really bad about this anti-consumer stuff. Whereas if Microsoft, if you had got the game on a series, on a Xbox One, and then you move to an X, you get the free upgrade, if this game was there. But their games that they're doing this on, they're giving upgrades to the different versions for free outside of a few gaming companies like Activision, with their Modern Warfare series, because they're just as bad as Sony. They're greedy little, So, this is really disheartening. I love the Horizon game, and I was lucky enough to get a PS5, whereas some people do not. So they want to play it when it comes out in February. If they don't have a PS5 and all they have is a PS4 and they really want to play it day one, they have to talk to them. They have to think to themselves, am I going to buy the Digital Deluxe Collector's Edition, the Regalia Edition, or hope Sony reverses course and just buy the Standard Edition? So you can't get it in the Standard Edition or Special Edition. So a little dirty on Sony's behalf, considering that their major competitor does this for free. Let's see, Nick, what do you think about this, man, this move? Because I think at one point there was talk of having an upgrade edition from Sony, and now that seems to have just gone the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, this is anti-consumer. In a lot of Sony's upgrade options have been anti-consumer. This is not the first one to do it. The fact that you can't even buy the regular edition, like if you have a PS4, all of us have PS5, so it really doesn't, bother us any in that sense, in the sense of being able to upgrade, because we'll just buy the PS5 version. But for those that do get a PS4 version and then later on, maybe a few weeks later or something like that, or whatever, they get the PS5, they can't upgrade unless they buy one of these ridiculously overpriced editions. The Digital Deluxe Edition is $80, which is, that's still pretty expensive. The game is $70. So that's only $10 more, which isn't too bad, I guess. But then you get into the other two editions. Those are like $200 to $260. And from my understanding is those editions, the regular and the, what is it, Champion Edition or whatever the other one is, or Collector's Edition, they don't come with a physical copy of the game. So from my understanding, they only come with a digital copy. So again, they're putting people out by just not including a physical copy of the game. And it's just bad you know, it's bad policies there. You know, Ghost of Tsushima, you think of that one. That one did the same thing with Director's Cut, right? They didn't give it to you for free. You had to pay, I think that was a $10 upgrade to get it for the PS5 if you wanted that Director's Cut stuff.
That was $30. If I remember correctly, it was 30. It was 10 to do some sort of upgrade on the PS4.
To the PS5 version, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so see, I mean, and exactly what Patrick said, you know, Xbox has the smart delivery system. If you have, or even if you download the Xbox One version of a game on the Series X, or you download the, you know, what, or you have a series or an Xbox One or whatever, it just says like, oh, hey, you have this. Like, I'm going to download it now for you. And then there you go. You got the updated stuff. And even Microsoft is updating games that are not even a part of that, right? Older games. You think of like Doom Eternal, you know, it got a free upgrade on the Xbox as well as the PlayStation. But I've heard on the PlayStation side, it's a little bit more difficult to get that upgrade. And I've seen it firsthand with my PlayStation 5, like the Final Fantasy 7 upgrade. You know, you had to go download it. At first, it was like difficult to find it. And then once I found it, you had to go download it. And then even to get my saves, which is much easier, which is not about saves. I understand that. But on the Xbox, it's like my saves are just there. Whereas on the PlayStation, I had to re-download Final Fantasy 7 onto the PlayStation 4. And then just to be able to upload my save to the cloud so I could download it on the PlayStation 5. So stuff like that. And then this, you know, is very anti-consumer. The thing that bothers me, besides Sony being anti-consumer with this type of stuff, the things that bother me the most is the people out there that defend it. You know, that's the problem. That's the reason why Sony can get away with this. You know, like I read some, you know, comments on the different stuff, and people were like, well, you know, get a PS5 or, you know, well, of course, you know, blah, blah, this or that, or, you know, whatever their case was. And it's like, why defend it? Like, I love my PlayStation 5, but Sony doing something like this, even if Microsoft did something like this, I'd be going, I don't think so. That's stupid. That's very anti-consumer, and I don't agree with that. Even though I love the company or I love the device, if they do something that's against my interest or the interest of the consumers, that's not good. You should not be defending that and saying, well, this is that and that is this. You know, that's $1 million, $1 billion corporation. You don't have $1 billion or $1 million. You don't have a stake in that company. You don't have stocks or anything in there. Why defend them? You should be with everyone else saying like, yeah, that's crap. So yeah, I mean, this is crap too. I mean, I'm looking forward to Horizon, and like I said, we all have PS5, so it's not really a big deal for us. But for those that do have PS4s, this is going to be a big deal for them, and it's some shady practices there. Shane, what do you think, man?
Not to be crude, but fuck you, Sony. Again, I'm tired of it. Sony, I used to make jokes. Sony is going EA light. No, Sony is EA. They don't care about it's not anti-consumers. It's just they don't give a shit about their customer base. They don't. And the people that you were talking about, Nick, that defend it, these are the definitive fanboys that, without using a lick of thought, you know, they don't care that, you know, they're being just screwed. And Sony is notoriously getting worse about it. PS3 launched. Sony had such a big head from their PS2. And it bombed at first because of Sony's greed and all the really bad shit they were doing. They reversed course, and near the end of that cycle, Sony actually caught up to 360. I believe they even got ahead a little bit. So, you know, good for them for, you know, pulling their head out of their ass. And consumers were voting with their wallet, though. That was the key thing. We're not doing that now. I mean, the three of us, we have our PS5s. Should we have all probably waited for them? Yes. But are we gamers and we got to have it? Yes. So, but Sony doesn't give a shit about their consumers anymore. They're riding high on the PS4. Sony is, you know, outselling Microsoft, and you know that's great, but they're ripping off their players. They're ripping off their consumers, and without a give a shit. They're doing it openly, and they're getting away with it because of fanboys. The fanboys are what's destroying our pastimes, our favorite things in the world, because they're not voting with their wallets. They're not using their heads. Microsoft is a company. They're a corporation. They're all about money, money, money. No doubt about it. But what they're doing is they're bringing consumers to them by being consumer friendly. Sony, they've got their consumers. They don't feel they need to be consumer friendly anymore. And I really hope it bites them in the ass and they have to 180, their direction again. But I don't think it's going to happen because I think the fanboyism has really progressed beyond repentance. So, but I think there's more and more complaints about these things. Ghost of Tsushima, not Ghost of Tsushima, I'm sorry. The Kojima game, Death Stranding, that was a $10 upgrade for the director's cut. Kojima was like, what? Kojima didn't even understand that. And then, we were talking about Ghost of Tsushima. That was a $30 upgrade. And then now this horse shit. And I wanted to get this because I never did finish it when it launched on PS4. And I would like to have had it, and all that juicy goodness. But I'm not. I mean, I didn't buy Ghost of Tsushima as much as I would love to play the Iki Island stuff, and all the updated graphics. Sony can suck my ball sack. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing Death Stranding. I'm not going to pay them a crap ton of money to play the same game, just with better graphics or with their haptic feedback, which it's okay. But I don't feel a game needs it, and I'm okay with not having it. But they've done nothing to deserve this money or the credit that they're getting right now, and it's disgusting. Sony is really just pissing me off. But I'll stop ranting about how Sony's spreading everybody's cheeks and giving them the blue, blue, blue. What about you, Pat? I know you're definitely the biggest Horizon fan in the group.
Yeah, and let's just talk about how Sony's made it even more confusing. There's 9 editions of this game. Count them, 9. You have to know whether you're buying it for the PS4, PS5, both. Do you want a physical disc, not a physical disc? I mean, so if you buy it for PS4, it's $60. If you want the PS5 version, it's $70. And for whatever reason, it makes absolutely no sense if you want it that plays both the PS4 and the PS5 version is $70 or $80. Okay. Why doesn't the $70 one just work for PS4 and PS5? I don't get that. And so, and that's the base version of the game. The $60 for PS4, $70 for PS5, and then the $80 is the digital deluxe version. And then there's also a $10 more. So if you're on PS4 special edition, that comes with like a steelbook, but you still have to know if it's for PS4 or PS5. So if you want the steelbook for PS4, it's $70. If you want the steelbook for PS5, it's $80. Like, come on, guys. Why do you have to make this so damn difficult? Just make one version that works for both, just like Microsoft does. And so that's 6 different versions I just spoke about right there. 6 different versions. And we haven't even gotten into the regalia or the collector's edition, which don't come with a disc. So it's, I don't know. I don't get Sony's move on. I mean, I guess I do. Sony's just greedy and anti-consumerism, but what is everybody gonna do? I mean, I'm already against a $70 game because I don't think they need the $70 in my opinion. Because there's things that's offset the cost of gaming in the last 5, 10, 15 years that should lessen the fees and things they have. I mean, how much have they saved on physical manufacturing, shipping, and storefront space for games? I mean, because the majority of games, and you could check it, statistics will tell you the majority of video games are sold digitally now. So they are making money hand over fist, and this is just more way to stick it to the consumer. And fanboys are just protecting them. I mean, I love Microsoft and what they've done, but they make a wrong corner, I'm gonna call them out on it. I don't care how much you can't have your cake and eat it both ways without being called out on it. And that's what Sony's doing. They're basically saying, you got a PS4, PS5, and maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal. Maybe this wouldn't be such a big deal, in my opinion, if consoles were readily available. So anybody who wanted a PS5 could have one. But right now, you're punishing those people Sony is punishing its consumers who can't get a PS5. Because if they buy a PS4 and they want to come back and play it when they get their PS5 and all its upgraded graphics and glory, Sony is saying, sorry, no dice. There's no upgrade path. You have to buy the game again. Or they have to have the foresight to say, I'm going to spend $80 to get the digital deluxe, $20 than I had to spend, or $10 if I had a PS5, just to get some nice digital enhancements and to be able to play it on either or version. That's so anti-consumerism that if you denying it, then you are a fanboy and you need to look in the mirror, because you're the reason that this stuff still exists, because you back companies and say they're doing what they're going to do. And it's a great game. It's going to be hard because I want this game and I want to play this game. So it's going to be really hard. I'm not buying a digital deluxe. I don't buy digital deluxe of hardly anything because I don't care about no crappy digital item in the game. I don't care, so I buy standard editions almost always. Very rarely do I buy a digital deluxe. Just if there's something in there I want, sometimes, but normally I'm a standard edition guy.
Yeah. I am too. You hit everything on the head there. I mean, it's hard to, I can't find one reason to say, no, Sony has, they have a good ideal. They have a reason for this. No, they don't. I mean, their reason is pure greed. That is it. That is absolutely it. There's no arguing or denying that. You were talking about saving money. Do you guys remember books? Remember the books that came with your game? Final Fantasy games? Jesus, that was a book. It was a freaking novel. I mean, they had its own box that it came in because, those games were so huge. When's the last time you've seen one of those? Even in a disc version? You don't. I mean, that's saving them like, I remember seeing this a long time ago. It's like 37 cents on average for a instruction manual that you haven't seen in years. So imagine you sell 10 million of them, copies of that game. That's 37 cents for every copy. That's a crap ton of money they're saving. Put that shit in the bank and quit banking on your customers. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I'm trying not to get angry and bash because, I'm not an anti PlayStation guy. I'm anti Sony.
The last thing I'll say for it is Sony calls buying these upgraded versions dual entitlement.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
Dual entitlement. I'm sorry. I bought your $500 or maybe back on the PlayStation 4, your $500 or $400 machine and spent $70 for, or on the PlayStation 4, your $60 game. I am entitled for that upgrade. Right.
Goddamn right.
In that sense, I went out, I bought your PlayStation 4. I bought your PlayStation 4 game. Then I went out and bought your PlayStation 5. I think I'm entitled at this point to get that upgrade for free. Right. I shouldn't have to spend an extra $20 to $200 to $260 for these other editions just to be dual entitled. You can shove that up your ass.
Well, let's just put it this way, too. Jim Ryan said that games would come with free upgrades. I mean, he said this back in 2020, what Jim Ryan did. There will be free cross-gen upgrades. So
he is a lying piece of shit.
Well, he had his head up his ass when he was saying that, and somebody probably smacked him around, be like, "Shh, dude, you can't say that." Well, Sony's now not even offering paid-for upgrades when you think about it, because if you buy the PS4 version, standard $60 one, and then you get that PS5, you might as well wipe your ass with that PS4 copy of the game because you can't use it. You can't play it. If you bought it digitally and you move to a PS5, it's worthless. It's not even good for toilet paper because you can't do anything. When you can install it, you can't even install it. You can just sit there and look at it and be like, hey, I own this PS4 game that I paid for digitally, and I can't do anything with it on my PS5. So Jim Ryan, you need to suck it up and do the right thing and stop being so anti-consumerism. You and Sony need to just figure out what's screwed up in your brain and start doing the right thing. if you got people who are buying your PS4, buying games with the PS4, and as Nick said, buy a PS5, you can call it entitlement, whatever you want. I am buying your company's equipment. You're telling me, so sorry, go cry me a river. Well, I hope the consumers will eventually tell you, so sorry, Sony, go cry me a river when you're going under that river.
Yeah. It's goddamn sick. It's ridiculous.
They do, we, like you said, Patrick, if Microsoft does something, we'll criticize it. And we have on our YouTube channel. We've criticized Microsoft for a lot of different things. But in this sense, one thing that Microsoft's doing great and right with is they're pro-consumer. These upgrades come for free. They don't say, oh, you have to buy this edition to get it. Then they say, hey, you got an Xbox Series X? Great. You're going to be able to take advantage of these new features and stuff like that. And you have an Xbox One? That's okay. If you buy it in a Series X or S later on, guess what? We'll download it for you. You don't even have to waste your time going to the store. We'll just say, hey, look, here's an upgrade. You want to download that? It's got all the, 120 frames or ray tracing or, high-end particle effects or whatever the crap comes with it. Great. We'll just download it for free for you. And there you go. You got it. Yeah. And that's pro consumer. I mean, it's hands off. Like, that's one thing I love about smart delivery on the Xbox is I don't have to do anything. It just downloads it for me. And I wish Sony did the same thing, because there are some PS4 titles I've played on PS5 that do have updated graphics, but you have to go find that on the store. It doesn't just say like, hey, you got this version, let's download that for you. You have to go search for it. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, it took me a while to figure out where the heck that was. Maybe call me stupid if you want to, if there any fanboys are listening, maybe call me stupid if you want. But I mean, it took me like a good 10 minutes to figure out where the hell that upgrade was and then to download it. So yeah, they don't make it very easy for consumers. A lot of their practices are very anti-consumer. Hopefully Sony can right that ship. Hopefully they figure out that, this ain't working for them and they can turn that ship around. But right now they ain't doing a very good job of it.
Right. All right. Well, this is going to devolve if we keep going any further. So anybody else got anything they want to say before we wrap up this episode about Sony does it again?
Eat a dick, Jim.
I think he enjoys those. That's why he keeps doing it. So, all right. Well, before this just devolves into chair throwing and lots of anti-family curse words, we're going to go ahead and end this one. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.